What's up? So I forgot to record the beginning of this first stream, so you're picking up about 15-20 minutes into the game, still meeting all the characters, but you'll figure it out. Okay, bye. So we're just gonna miss the very beginning of it, but it's fine. Oh man, this maze game haunts me still. To the point where, like, I don't remember if it was a real thing on, like, Windows 95 or, like, 98 computers. Like, my brain has decided it's a real thing, but I don't know if that's actually true. So, I'm quickly jotting down so I don't forget. The character for 4 is the thing we were supposed to see there. Let's see. Books. Ooh. History of the piano. So, not gonna lie, Nancy Drew is the reason that I kind of know what piano keys are. Yeah, that's just, it comes up in a few of the games. Just where it went. Ooh, Lizzie Applegate. Now leave this on the screen for a moment. So, if you want to read through it real quick, you're welcome to. I'm gonna throw some more veggie tofu pasta in my mouth. Some more music. Clearly there is a music puzzle coming up. So, one side of the stairs creaks, the other side whispers at you. Oh, do you see that? This painting just blinked at me. I don't like it. We're getting that haunted mansion real quick. So there's the paint. I don't want to do just yet. Because I want to meet our other available character. Ooh, excuse me. This is my room with the scary noise as I walk in the door. I believe, oh, here is the other level of the elevator. I know that they're called something other than just elevator, but I don't remember what.
Hello, Nancy. I see you've arrived safely from your long journey. But I'm sensing an aura of danger around you. I can tell you're an inquisitive type, a little skeptical, and that you don't believe in ghosts.
How do you know I don't believe in ghosts?
I know many things. I know how to communicate with the spirits, and I know things about people that they don't tell me. Call it intuition or ESP. The spirits in this house are interested in you, especially since you don't believe in them. Watch out. They may give you a rough time just to get your attention.
Does your intuition tell you who could be behind these recent accidents?
I'm not sure, but for some reason the name Valdez has a strong connection with this mansion.
Do you have any more information on Mr. Valdez?
Now, if you will please excuse me, I need to prepare myself for this evening. At that time, more will be revealed.
It is now 2 o'clock. I don't know if that's 2 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
I need a paint scraper. It's locked.
Classic Nancy Drew. It's locked.
Tiles coming along.
I'm all finished, but you should know what I found.
I'm sure it's very interesting, but unless it's really important, I've got other things to worry about. Let's see. If you're any good at fixing things, there's a dumbwaiter in the hallway that's not working.
Where did Abby find those papers that are in the parlor?
She told me they were in her room, which surprised me since it was completely empty when we moved in. Now, the room you're staying in was crammed with furniture. I think most of it was original with the house.
How did you meet Abby?
She was the drama coach back in River Heights, and we worked on a couple of plays together. My bid on this house was too low, so she pitched in her savings to help me get the place. If it weren't for Abby, I couldn't have afforded this place.
How did you find Charlie?
He just showed up one day. It was really odd. I remember Abby and I were in the basement talking about hiring someone to help us. 20 minutes later, the doorbell rang and there stood Charlie, looking for work.
Have you heard of someone named Lizzie Applegate?
No, I haven't.
Whose laptop is that in the library?
Louis leaves it here, but he doesn't like people to use it. He said he's had trouble with viruses lately.
What is Abby planning for tonight?
She's putting on some kind of seance tonight to contact these ghosts or whatever she thinks is causing all of these accidents.
I can see you're busy. I'll let you go.
Goodbye.
Hey, Nancy. I really need to finish this up. Sorry.
The rope is cut.
Here is, alright, so, and it is probably 2:45 in the afternoon. Would be the
Hello.
case.
I was so wrapped up in my book, I didn't hear you come in. My name is Louis Chandler.
I didn't mean to startle you. I'm Nancy Drew. I came out to help Rose and Abby with the renovations.
Yes, well, I'm very glad you're here.
Are you a friend of Rose?
Yes, I'd like to think so, but I'm an antique dealer, and a client told me that Rose and Abby had recently acquired the estate. I'm an authority on the Victorian era, so they were only too happy to let me use the library in exchange for my advice on the renovations.
You must know a lot about the house's history.
Actually, I'm a bit in the dark about this particular property. However, as far as Victorian mansions go, I don't see anything remarkable about this one.
Abby thinks the mansion is haunted.
Does she? There have been documented cases of hauntings in older mansions. And I might add, not all of the hauntings were by friendly spirits.
Do you think a ghost is causing these accidents?
Accidents? I know Rose has mentioned some inconveniences like that wall covering and the light supplies, but I would hardly call those accidents. I'm sorry, but I'm quite busy at the moment, and although I'd like to talk, I really don't have the time. Please, excuse me.
And so it begins. Let's see. Let's call Emily.
This is Emily.
Hi, Emily. It's Nancy Drew.
Nancy Drew? I haven't heard from you in ages. How's Hannah in River Heights? You're not in San Francisco, are you, my dear?
Actually, I am. I'm helping one of Hannah's friends, Rose Green, renovate this wonderful old Victorian mansion. She wants to open up a bed and breakfast.
Seems to be the trend these days. I'll bet you're staying in the Haight-Ashbury district.
I'm not sure. The place is located on California Lane. 4653, I think is the number.
You know, you're lucky you caught me at home. I've been traveling most of these days, but after that crazy tour of Egypt. By the way, riding a camel is not as easy as it looks. My editor gave me an assignment right here in town. It'll be on the Dragons of San Francisco.
I hope you won't be riding them. What were you doing in Egypt?
Oh, you know, the usual. Pyramids, bazaars, the Sphinx. But what are you up to, Nancy? Why'd you call? Is there anything I can help you out with?
Can you tell me about the Chinese writing
A lot,
system?
apparently.
I seem to come across a lot of Chinese symbols.
Oh, it doesn't surprise me. The Chinese have been an important part of San Francisco history for over 100 years. The symbols are called Hanzi, and each one represents a particular thing, or an idea, or an action. You find them all over on business cards, takeout cartons, artwork.
I found some old papers in the house, plus a page from a phone directory dated 1894.
Oh, that sounds valuable. It's hard to find old documents like that before 1906.
Have you heard of an antique dealer named Louis Chandler?
Nope, never heard of him.
Have you heard of an actress, Lizzie Applegate?
Oh, sure, she was a good friend of Lotta Crabtree, another popular actress in the late 1800s. As I recall, she opened up a big hotel. What was it called? The Hotel Mandrake or the Oriental? I forget.
Was it in this neighborhood? Is it still around?
Oh no, this one was downtown. It was very big, but I think it burned down.
Have you ever come across hidden rooms in Victorian mansions?
No, but I've read that many houses were only partially rebuilt after the Great Earthquake, closing off damaged rooms from the rest of the house.
Do you know anything about Valdez?
I don't think so.
I should get going. Goodbye, Emily.
Goodbye, Nancy.
Oh man, I used to have Bess and George's phone numbers memorized. That's how much
Hello?
I've played these
Hi, Bess.
games.
It's Nancy.
Hi, Nancy. George is here. Let me put her on the speakerphone.
Nancy?
Hi, George.
Hey, what's up?
I'm in San Francisco, helping a friend of Hannah's renovate an old Victorian mansion. She wants to open up a bed and breakfast. Unfortunately, some strange accidents have delayed the project.
Uh-oh.
Well, get this. One of the owners, Abby, thinks the place is haunted by a ghost named Valdez.
A ghost? Well, I'm glad I'm not out there.
Sounds like another case is in the works.
So tell us more about what's been going on.
Do you know anything about the house's history?
I met the resident handyman, Charlie. He's pretty young, and I don't think he has much experience.
Maybe he doesn't charge very much, so he's probably a good bargain for Rose.
Or maybe he's just cute.
Bess, is that all you can think about?
No.
Rose is really lucky. This antique dealer, Louis Chandler, is helping her out, although he doesn't know very much about the house's history.
That makes sense. If the house was built before 1906, most of its records were probably destroyed in the earthquake.
But wouldn't he know at least something about it if he's some kind of expert on old things?
I'm sure he knows a lot about old stuff, just not architecture or houses.
I should get going. Talk to you later.
Bye, Nancy!
Drew residence, Hannah Groon speaking.
Hi, Hannah.
Nancy, how are you? And how's Rose?
Great. I'm really glad you had Rose invite me out here. Her house is so beautiful.
I'm so happy you're out there. But I'm worried about all the accidents she's having. There's just been so many.
What has Rose said about them?
She doesn't say much, but I know they've become worse and worse. That's one of the reasons why I asked you to visit her, to see if everything is all right.
This mansion must have cost a
She already
fortune.
told us.
How did she afford it?
Rose spent her entire life savings on the house. If this doesn't work out, she won't have 30 more years to earn the money back. Well, I should let you get back to your renovation work. Thank you for calling. There's probably no reason for concern. But be on the lookout for anything unusual. Goodbye, dear.
Clearly, Hannah didn't really want to talk to us. Don't blame her. Am I avoiding the staircase that whispered at me earlier? Maybe.
It's stuck.
I should probably write down this number also, since I'm keeping track. Terrible kanji on my end. Is it kanji in Chinese, or is that only in Japanese? I don't actually know. So that is all to do in here. It's 4 o'clock. El Diablo fell madly in love with Lizzie Applegate. Interesting. We have the kanji for moon. Do have to be quick though. Sure, my face is blocking the stream. Oh look, that mirror is a two-way. The Zodiac and you. Hello, welcome to my stream. Currently snooping.
Something's missing here. Something's missing here.
Well, this might be all we can do in here for now. It's still pretty early on in the game. It won't let us look at that radio.
It's stuck.
I'm pretty sure that this is the key to our ceiling over here.
It's locked.
No, it's not. It's not the key to the ceiling.
It's missing an eye.
Hello.
How do you know Louis?
He stopped by one day to introduce himself. He seemed awfully curious about our property, but he's an antique dealer specializing in the Victorian period. He's been extremely helpful advising us on authentic decor.
I can see you're busy. I'll let you go.
Don't work too hard.
Six o'clock. Good, our friend is gone. Screwdriver. There is a hollow base on this table. Another old key.
It's stuck. It's stuck. It's stuck.
It's like I will need a crowbar for that. Speaker. Suspicious.
It's locked.
Do we have a year here? Not that I can make out. A crowbar. We're just finding all the things we need up here.
It's locked.
This looks like a code. I'll write it down. Got
more to this music than what I'm seeing?
This book reads very much like a Nancy Drew novel. How fitting. I think that's all for us to find up here.
It's stuck.
And now we're trapped in the attic where no one will ever find us. Except there happened to be a crowbar up here. We have our iConji.
I can't see where I'm going.
Did we die? This is the first death. And I didn't even mean it. Alright, so apparently we need a flashlight before we can go down here.
It's so dark in here.
Alright. Fine. Let's go harass Abby.
The spirits wish to speak to you, Nancy. Tonight, I will channel their energies to deliver a message. Meet me down in the basement, if you dare. Please sit down.
We really don't have time for this.
Let us begin. We are gathered here tonight to contact the shades of those who have passed before us. Gaze into the crystal ball. It will answer all of our questions. What's that?
Who has called me forth from the great beyond?
We have. Are you the spirit known as Valdez?
I was once called that in the world of the living.
Are you the spirit who has caused these accidents?
I have come back.
I really like that Valdez has no accent.
My wife. Where can she be?
The spirits have spoken. The seance is over.
We've got a busy day tomorrow, and no more time for these games, Abby. And make sure you blow out the candles on your way up. I don't want to wake up and find the house on fire.
I mean, she might. What time is it? It's only 10. I already returned to my bedroom. Do I have to go to bed? Can I go inspect the basement? Let's see, she's got a lot of things on her to-do list. Dumbwaiter, that's what it's called. And we fixed it. She doesn't know that, of course. Let's see, homeowner's insurance. Oh, we've had a kitchen gas line break, water main, scaffolding collapse, vandalism to outdoor shrubbery, stolen roofing materials. Whenever the game chugs a little bit, I don't know if it's just loading or if something spooky is about to happen. It always makes me a little nervous.
Won't fit.
Double checking for a flashlight. Don't see one anywhere. I suppose we should go to bed for the night. Go up the creepy staircase. It blinked.
Morning, Nancy.
Hello.
I can see you're busy. I'll let you go.
Goodbye.
But I fixed the dumbwaiter. Nothing.
This is Bess.
And George.
Hello, you two.
Hi, Nancy. How are you?
Listen to this. I found a secret attic and an old desk. It looks like no one's been in there for years.
There's probably a lot of clues about the house in there.
Oh, what was in the desk?
An old playbill for a musical called The Bandit's Treasure.
The Bandit's Treasure? Maybe there is treasure in the house.
I found some letters written by E. Valdez. I guess he was the owner of a hotel named the Golden Gardenia.
Valdez.
Golden gardenias? I thought they were all white.
That's it. Don't you see? The hotel has gold hidden in it, and Valdez is watching over it.
I don't think so, Bess.
Abby hosted a seance and contacted the spirit who's haunting the house.
Did you actually see the ghost?
Yeah, right. I'm sure it was some kind of trick.
Abby sounds suspicious.
Yeah, maybe she's hiding something. She probably knows more about the house than she's admitting.
Can you guys give me a clue? I'm not sure what to do next.
Okay, we'll help you.
But since you're a senior detective,
We'll make the hints a little harder.
play the Bandit's Treasure on the piano.
You never
Oh,
know
I
what you'll get if you
totally forgot about
improvise
it.
a little bit.
I should get going. Talk to you later.
Bye, Nancy.
Bye.
Probably do that before Charlie comes in. But I also really want to grab a glass of wine. I mean, juice. Definitely just grape juice. No wine here. This is Twitch. We can't have wine.
It's stuck. It's stuck.
Okay, good, because that would have been ill-advised.
It's stuck.
It's fine, we wrote it down. Alright. Shit. Okay, clearly have this wrong.
It's stuck.
Just want to double check. Make sure that, you know, the music theory that I actually know, my brain isn't wrong. Because I haven't actually done anything music related for years. Am I starting on the wrong key? I was using the F as my C. That's what the problem was. Okay. I feel like it's easier if they show you the whole piano instead of just a little cutout of the piano. Okay, so that's our C. No, that's D. C, D. Must have it wrong. Oh, I don't have it wrong. My love, here's the key you'll need. Presumably a key to one of the letters in the attic. So I'm gonna go back there.
It's locked.
Find Diego on stairs. been a minute since we puzzled. So those two move together. Moves almost everybody. Diego, I've waited so long for your return, but have kept our treasure true. Here is the tool you'll need to find it. May your rainbows never run out of luck. E. B. Stars and moon will shine on you as you begin your quest. Move like a knight upon... I don't know what that says. To quickly pass the test. Take care to keep your path in check along the outside border, for you may see the sun return to claim its rightful order. Interesting. This goes somewhere. But where does it go? Okay, not in here yet.
Hey, Nancy, I see you survived Abby's seance. Man, that Valdez guy sure sounded creepy.
I guess. Were you down here then? I don't remember seeing you.
Rose told me all about it. So how are things coming along? Anything I can help you out with?
Have you ever heard of someone named Valdez?
I've heard of a Diego Valdez. He was a wealthy rancher who lived in the 1800s. Yeah, I just read a book on him for my history class.
Was he from San Francisco?
No, he was sort of a hermit and never married. But he was extremely generous. He gave away thousands of dollars.
Can you tell me more about the accidents?
I'd really rather not talk about that right now.
How do you like working for Abby?
She's not bad. She can be a little weird. I think she gets on Rose's nerves sometimes.
What do you mean?
She always does a disappearing act whenever Rose needs her to do some work. And I think Rose is sort of hatty, you know?
Abby thinks the house is haunted. Do you?
I'm not sure. Let's just say I wouldn't rule it out. But that's Abby's department, not mine.
I'll let you get back to your renovation.
Hasta la pasta.
Hello.
Does Charlie live around here?
He told me he just moved here from Iowa, but doesn't have a place of his own yet. He said he's staying with friends.
Do you think Charlie is responsible for these accidents?
Abby thinks he is, but I'm not sure. I really trust in him, and I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt.
I can see you're busy. I'll let you go.
Goodbye.
I hope you're convinced now that the spirits are with us. These ghosts are here to stay.
Oh my. Alright.
I heard someone crying in the hallway. Was that you?
I told you the spirits were interested in you. Was it a woman crying?
Yes, it was. How did you know?
It must be one of our phantom residents.
Do you know who this phantom could be?
Well, it wasn't me crying out there.
What kind of person is Charlie? He seems to feel bad about all of these mishaps.
Ugh, it's clear to me that Charlie's totally responsible for the accidents. Who else could it have been? He's a really nice kid, but he has no idea what he's doing. Unfortunately, Rose doesn't want to fire him. And there's something suspicious about him.
What do you mean?
The other day, I was down in the basement working for over an hour, and suddenly he sneaks up on me. I bet he was down there the whole time, watching me.
How long have you known Rose?
A couple of years. She has good business sense, but I think she needs to think more about advertising. Otherwise, we're just like all the other B&Bs in this town, and believe me, there's plenty of them.
Do you know much about Louis? It must be great having your own expert on Victorians.
He owns Chandler Interiors, a very reputable antique store. I'm sure his clients will be quite interested in our bed and breakfast once they hear about our resident ghost.
I saw those papers in the parlor. Where did you find them?
Right in my room. They're so vintage. I'm going to ask Louis if he can get me some antique frames for them. Rose and I can use the letters in our historical display.
Historical display?
Yes, they're very popular in bed and breakfasts. They usually contain old photographs, letters, documents, things like that.
Were there any photographs with the papers?
I did find this old picture of a woman dressed in men's clothing. I think it was taken in the entryway by the staircase. I sent it to a photographer to have it restored.
Nice, Nancy. Nice.
A woman in men's clothing? That sounds strange.
I once read that some women back then liked the freedom men's clothing gave them since their lives were so restricted. A man could go anywhere and do almost anything. A woman couldn't.
I found out how you rigged the seance table with a projector. That was a pretty good show you gave.
Okay, so I staged part of the seance. But that still doesn't mean this place isn't haunted. Seances were very popular during the Victorian era, and I plan to entertain our guests with them. It'll be a great way to promote the place.
Are you the ghost who is haunting this place?
There's more to this house than you think, Nancy. You probably don't believe me, and with good reason, I admit it. But there are some mysteries in life best left unsolved.
Have you been creating these accidents to help promote the bed and breakfast?
Of course not. I've had nothing to do with these accidents. They cost us both time and money. If you want to find out who's behind the accidents, ask our resident handyman.
I'll let you get back to what you were doing.
Have a celestial day.
Hi, Nancy. What's up?
I'll let you get back to your renovation.
So long.
Hello.
I can see you're busy. I'll I'll let you go.
Thanks for your help.
Emily Foxworth speaking.
Hello, it's Nancy Drew.
Hi, Nancy. How's your case coming along?
Do you know where Yerba Buena town is?
That's what San Francisco was called back during the Spanish colonial period, but no one calls it that anymore.
Tell me about the Spanish and San Francisco.
Oh, you could write a book on that. The Spanish were the first Europeans to settle this area during the 1700s, and it stayed that way until after the Mexican-American War when it was handed over to the United States. It couldn't have happened at a better time because gold was discovered outside the city not more than 2 years later.
With all of that gold around, I'd imagine there's a lot of buried treasure in this town.
Yeah, you'd think that, but I've never heard of any in San Francisco except for Treasure Island out in the bay. But that's named after the book, not some legend.
What do you know about the Bandit's Treasure?
Bandit's Treasure? Oh! You mean the play! The Rep did a season where they performed old local plays, including the Bandit's Treasure. I've never seen it, but I hear the music is fantastic.
I should get going. Goodbye, Emily.
Talk to you later.
Spooky. So this was on the original box art when you had like the massive boxes for computer games, and I love it so much. So good. Did not mean to click that.
Fire! Fire!
Yep, Great, that's fire. Can you back up, please?
It's too late.
What? That was so fast. Okay.
I talked to everybody in the house, and none of them can figure out what caused the fire. Maybe I should take Lewis's advice and cut my losses before it's too late.
What advice?
He has a client who might want to buy the place. Someone with more experience and money to finish all of the renovations.
What did the fire department say?
They think the fire was caused by sparks from the fireplace, since it doesn't have a screen. And I specifically told Charlie to buy one. How could he have forgotten? No, I am bound and determined to stick with this house no matter what. Nothing can drive me away. I don't care if it's fires, earthquakes, or Mr. Valdez with his gang of ghosts.
Excuse me for prying, but why did you spend so much money to insure the house against fire?
For protection. I've put my entire life savings into this house, and if it goes up in smoke, I'll lose everything.
I can see you're busy.
did.
I'll let you go.
Goodbye.
Things are getting heated. Literally. Because of fire. Alright, well, let's go talk to everybody. So we just had a climactic
Hey, Nancy.
moment.
Hey, there's been another accident. You've got to believe me, I didn't have anything to do with it. I just hope Rose doesn't blame me for this one.
Rose mentioned the fire screen you were supposed to get.
But I did buy it. Lewis told me that it was the wrong type and said he'd get another one, so I returned it.
And that's all there is to it?
Everyone thinks I'm causing these accidents because I was always the last one there, but I had nothing to do with them. I can tell you this. There's something unusual going on in this house.
Oh, hey, Cease there. Yeah, he's hella sus. Have you played this one before?
Who was the last person you saw in the parlor before the fire?
I've been working mostly in the basement, but I think I saw Abby go through those papers right before the fire.
I'll let you get back to your renovation.
Thanks.
The snark with which she says renovation. This is Message in the Haunted Mansion. It is the third game that they ever made. But like the first one that matters, because the first two are train wrecks. Let's see. Our box of historical documents have gone up in flames.
Ah, Nancy, what a shame to have lost those papers. And to think that we almost lost the house. Rose is very fortunate to have you here.
Did you hear anything in the parlor before the fire started?
No, I'm afraid not. I'm somewhat isolated here. With these thick walls, I barely hear anything.
Were the papers very valuable?
Not for my purposes, no. But they must have had some sentimental value.
Do you know why the fireplace in the parlor didn't have a screen?
No, I don't. Now I remember. I was to purchase an antique fire screen, but never found a suitable match. I feel just terrible. I must apologize to Rose about this.
I was wondering whether you knew anything about someone named
Oh no, Lewis
Eve Valdez.
Eve
the
Valdez.
skeeziest.
No, I've never heard of that name.
He's just
But I'll
here
jot it down
using
and
their
let you know if I come
library.
across it anywhere.
Claiming that they get benefit having an antique dealer in the house.
What kind of antique store do you own?
It's a gallery, not a store. And it's called Chandler Interiors. specializing in the Victorian period. I have clients from all over the world, and if I don't have what they're looking for, I find it.
Was this house once a hotel?
That's hard to say. The house has been renovated many times, but several of its original features, such as the saloon and staircase, seem to indicate that it may have been a hotel. Unfortunately, there are no records on this house before 1906.
What was the Ladies' Protection Society?
A popular charity in the early 1900s. They helped widows and orphans.
Do you think Rose should sell the house?
I leave that decision up to her. She's put an extraordinary amount of time and money into it, and I'm not sure if she can afford what it'll take to complete the renovations. But whatever her decision, I will assist her however I can.
Do you know who Lizzie Applegate was?
Yes, I certainly do.
I appreciate that
she was a very popular
very stuck-up
actress in
man
the
is
late
just letting
1800s. She was very
teenager
generous and left
grill
all of
him.
her money to the Ladies' Protection Society.
Did Lizzie ever wear men's clothing?
I'm sure she played some roles where she had to dress as a man, but she was quite an elegant woman, quite fashionable for her time.
Do you think Charlie is doing a good job?
Certainly. He's rough around the edges, but he's reliable and learns very quickly. He's just what Rose and I need.
I won't keep you any longer.
Thank you, Nancy.
Right. Let's go talk to... Oh. They're arguing. Yeah, the new one leaves a lot to be desired. I definitely think that, like, that group kind of towards the later era, but before Midnight in Salem were, like, the best gameplay-wise. I forget the name of it off the top of my head, but the one before Midnight in Salem was really good. I plan on playing through all of them, but, you know, that's number 32 and we're on number 3, so we'll see how that goes. I'm just in her room. What time is it? 2:30. She's not usually out of her room yet.
I see you.
Who has called me forth from the great beyond?
So we have now proved that the haunting is a ruse. These to ourselves.
I should return the spider so Abby doesn't suspect anything.
I always get really nervous when I'm snooping in her room. Because when I played this as a kid, she definitely caught me in her bedroom before. And it's again a game ender. Which, like, dying in these games, like the older ones especially, were a lot more rewarding because it just like pops you back to the main menu screen and it's very dramatic. Ooh, boss lady's not here either. Where is everybody? No, so my face is blocking it on the stream, but like right down here is a little like pocket watch, which is how the older games kept time because she didn't have a cell phone yet. And the confusing part is it doesn't have an AM or PM, but you basically, and I have notes, but she's out of her room from 3 to 6 p.m. So it's like roughly timed. But like time flow in this game is still a little weird. Oh, that furniture just moved. Here we go, subterranean San Francisco. We have already learned that there weren't so many hidden rooms placed in the mansions as much as whenever there was like the San Francisco earthquake and subsequent fire, they would just build over the damaged rooms, thus creating secret rooms as they were. At least that's the game's excuse for the one that I haven't found yet, but I know is here. Let's see. I don't really want to call anybody yet, but I don't really know where to go. There was a letter here earlier and it's gone now. Only 3:30 in game, so I don't think Abby's back yet.
Hello.
Are you missing any papers?
Funny you should ask. Yes, I did misplace some old letters, but I'm sure they'll show up soon.
I can see you're busy. I'll let you go.
Goodbye.
Ned's not actually in this one. It's just Bess and George, but I can give them a call. I was remarking earlier to whoever my mystery viewer was early on that when I was younger, because their numbers are always the same, I had Bess and George's telephone number memorized. Back when people still memorized phone numbers. I don't think Ned shows up until the next game, which I will definitely be playing. Maybe not even till
Hello?
game 5.
Hi, Bess.
What's up?
You'll never believe this, but things have gotten even more complicated. I found some clues that there might be buried treasure in the house.
Wow!
Oh, Nancy, it sounds like you've got a real case on your hands. How can we help?
Oh, Nancy.
There was a small fire in the house, But luckily I put it out. But the old papers that Abby found were destroyed.
Things are really starting to heat up, Nancy.
Ugh, and so are the bad puns.
Why would someone want to burn those papers?
I bet there was something in them that was important.
I'd take another look at the scene of the fire for any clues.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I should get going. Talk to you later.
Goodbye.
Hey, I'm actually not Team Ned. I prefer the Hardys. I think Frank would make a much better pairing for Nancy. I have to like individually look at these things. Apparently not. Apparently not. Well, you see, George is on speakerphone, so they are yelling over each other, I guess. I don't know. We're gonna call our resident historical expert real quick. Because I don't want to ask for a hint, but I will if I have to.
Emily Foxworth speaking.
Hello, it's Nancy Drew.
Hi, Nancy. How's your case coming along?
The last time I played this one...
Have you ever heard of the Ladies Protection Society?
No, but it sounds like some turn-of-the-century charity. There were all these private agencies that helped out widows and orphans before the government took on that role.
I've definitely
I should get going.
Played it since
Goodbye,
I played
Emily.
it originally,
Talk to you
like
later.
when I was a small child. But at least 5 years ago. I definitely played it in college, so... But I am also playing on Senior Detective, so I don't have a checklist of stuff to do. Which I actually
Drew
don't remember.
residence, Hannah Gruen speaking.
Hi, Hannah.
I don't remember if they had checklists in those
Hi,
older ones
Nancy.
anyway.
I met Rose's handyman, Charlie. He seems nice.
Rose told me he's a fine young fellow, but a little rough around the edges. I believe she said he's studying history at a community college.
Has Rose said anything about him and the accidents?
Nothing particular. I know she's concerned that Charlie may have inadvertently caused some of them, but she doesn't think it was intentional.
I just found a hidden attic. I wonder if it has anything to do
You can
with
tell I
all
haven't
these
talked to Hannah for a
accidents.
while.
Perhaps it does.
I called her very early
Nancy,
on in the game
keep
and she
this
hung up
secret
on me.
until you get to the bottom of these strange events. Don't even tell Rose. The less everyone knows, the more you can investigate without creating suspicion.
Did you know Rose has a resident expert on Victorians?
My family housekeeper
Yes,
has a
Rose
suspicious
has mentioned Lewis
mind.
several times. She's really fond of him and is very grateful for his help.
How has he been helpful?
He's found some Victorian antiques at good prices, and he's making sure the renovations are done correctly.
Have you heard about the seance Abby hosted for Rose and me?
Seance? Good heavens.
Has Rose ever mentioned someone by the name of Valdez?
No, she never mentioned the name.
There was a fire in the parlor, but I put it out in time.
Thank goodness. I just hope nobody was hurt. Rose told me she was afraid that house was a fire trap. I'm just so glad you were there to save the place.
Hannah is the housekeeper at the Drew residence. So she basically, because Nancy Drew's mom died very young, / maybe just disappeared. There was a whole game about it. But Hannah basically was her pseudo-mom. Because her father is a lawyer and doesn't have time to parent.
Abby faked the seance. She rigged a table with a projector.
Well, you didn't think it was for real, did you? Don't worry, Rose, about this. She has enough on her mind already. I just can't imagine why Abby would go to all that trouble.
Hannah, do you think Rose could have started the fire to collect the insurance on the house?
No, not at all. Rose loves that house. It's her dream come true. I can't imagine her doing something like that. She's very determined to open that B&B.
I should get back to work. Goodbye.
Goodbye, dear.
Alright, I'm gonna ask for a hint. Which the hints are kind of obtuse on Senior Detective anyway, so, you know.
Hello?
Hi, Bess.
Hello, what's new?
Can you guys give me a clue? I'm not sure what to do next.
If only you could find all those ornamental tiles for the mantle.
We usually store ornaments in the attic.
I should get going. Talk to you later.
See ya!
Bye!
This is one of those things that should have been obvious, and yet, just didn't notice it. Gonna go up the creaky side of the staircase.
It's locked.
Aha. This is the creepy attic. You gotta have a creepy attic. Ooh, what is this? I missed this earlier. I'm gonna put this in my notes. This is also where I found a crowbar and an old, like, literal iron that I used to fix a dumbwaiter. There's also a whole bunch of, like, books and sheet music and creepy pictures of actresses, so you know. This is the hotbed for clues. Oh, also this one that says hotel, in case you didn't guess that this place used to be a hotel. Make sure there's not any more tile pieces up here that I've missed. I don't think there are. Oh, also the first time you try to leave, she breaks the rope and you get stuck immediately. I have not finished LA Noire, but I did play a pretty good chunk of it when I was in college. I'm still missing a tile piece. This painting winks at me and I don't like it. Oh yeah, all the time. Be like, really? This pistol next to... Oh, there's a ghost. This pistol sitting right by where this guy got shot isn't interesting at all. Oh no, it's 6 o'clock. We're not going in there. I don't want to go in there. Don't make me go in there. I don't want to get caught. I'm gonna save it. I mean, it doesn't matter if you die, because they give you a second chance, but still.
Nancy, get out of my room! Rose! Rose!
Nancy, I'm ashamed of you. Everyone in this house expects some degree of privacy, and you have obviously violated that trust. Your behavior is completely unacceptable. No arguments. I cannot stand to have someone so inconsiderate in my house. I've arranged for Abby to drop you off at the airport. I'm sorry it has to work out this way. Goodbye.
That was just for you. Where did it? There it is. How is it still 6 o'clock and yet I got caught so fast? This is my room. Oh, is that creepy letter I got? Yeah, it is. Got slid under my door.
Hi, Nancy. I can't believe we had a fire. I can't believe it. I bet Charlie was down there before it started.
Why do you say that?
Because he's always around at the scene of these accidents. I told Rose to fire him, but she won't listen to me.
I'll let you get back to what you were doing.
Pax vobiscum.
Yeah, I have no idea. I don't even know if it was real Latin, if it was fake Latin. But where's the other tile piece? Also, I need a flashlight.
Hello.
I can see you're busy. I'll let you go.
Don't work too hard.
This is one thing that, like, inevitably happens to me in any point-and-click game, is I'll just end up walking around in circles because I'm missing something that should be really obvious. Which I'm assuming is just where this tile piece is. Or this flashlight that I can't find.
Hello?
Hi, Bess.
Hello, what's new?
Can you guys give me a clue? I'm not sure what to do next.
That fireplace sure would look nice with all of its tiles in place.
Try reading up on it. You never know what you'll find in the library.
I should get going. Talk to you later.
Goodbye.
I'm excited. I will have to get those other ones back from you before I catch up to them, though. I mean, I've got some time. But... Right, so the other tile piece is in the library. No, the game definitely still has a little bit of chug to it. And I am also running it on a compatibility mode. Ah, there it is. Classic, classic. I love the tonal shift with the music here. Oh, I have a lamp now. And I have more kanji. If it is called kanji. I don't know what Chinese characters, if they're called the same thing. Seems like this would be a really warm secret room. Gotcha. So they don't really... They haven't quite figured out how to fully exposit the information. It's very much like you have to look around to figure out what's going on. But essentially, your housekeeper's old friend bought a Victorian mansion in San Francisco and is renovating it, and the renovations aren't going particularly well, so your housekeeper has sent you out to see if you can help and to see if you can figure out what's going on. This is in the very beginning of Nancy's detective career, so she doesn't really call herself like an amateur detective yet, but that's what she is. And it's all very, basically all the clues are there might be gold hidden in the house because a previous owner may or may not have also been a famous criminal who was in love with an actress. But there's also a lot of, like, stereotypical Chinese elements because San Francisco, so of course. Oh look, we're behind the bar. And there is a riddle tapestry hanging in your bedroom. Which is why I'm writing down like all these different characters as they pertain to the riddle. Because I'm pretty sure there's a puzzle related to it towards the end of the game. I'm like 2.5 hours into the game, so, you know. We've gotten pretty far. I just picked up a floppy disk. Ooh, it's somebody's term paper. Okay. Where do these stairs go? Oh. Interesting. Alright, so I need a computer. Which means I don't know if I have the information for a password yet, though. Oh man, so this thing is so like ingrained in my soul that there's an angry cat in my lap that I don't actually remember if this whole maze game thing existed on old Windows computers, or if I just remember it so vividly from this game that my brain has decided that this actually existed on old computers. But this is like the worst password alternative I could possibly think of. Oh, it was Pippin. It is past his dinner time, and I'm not paying enough attention to him. Avocado is rarely angry, and also in my lap at the same time. Also, so far, this maze is a lot easier than I remember it being when I was a kid. Like, all the wrong ways are blocked off. Oh, until here. Okay. Now we have some divergence. Oh. Ooh, I did it. Okay. Now let's see. So, Creepy Lewis knew that this building was a hotel in 1888 because of the address. I'm gonna write down all of these things. Okay, maybe not all of them, but the ones that seem like they could come up. Oh yeah, and unlike the newer Nancy Drew games, you don't have any sort of journal. So, like, I'm actually writing notes down as I go through the game. Because you have to. I have no idea if that login name will work. Oh, it did. Cool. Right? But also on a laptop. I don't know how to do this. Where does it go? Also, like, this is the only file on his computer, which is pretty funny. It doesn't give me, oh, did it, oh, there it went. Okay, cool. I was just missing it the first time. Oh, so Charlie is writing his final paper, but also his history class is only at 100 level, and he's writing a whatever. The Great Christmas Gold Robbery. Suspects include El Diablo, who we read about, Diego Valdez, who owned this hotel. Looking at the Applegate connection, and she is an actress who Valdez is suspected to have had a relationship with, and wrote Bandit's Treasure for her, which is this piece of sheet music that I'm walking around with. Interesting. Well, it is 9:30 in Nancy's universe, and ironically also 9:30 in the real universe. Listen, I didn't say it was good password. It was the year 2000. People were just afraid of 21K still, you know, or whatever. But I think I'm gonna stop here for the night, as Lucas has a video date coming up soon, and also I've been playing for 2.5 hours. It seems like a good stopping point for the night, because Nancy has to go to bed to progress the storyline. Oh, but this is the tapestry with our clues on it. But it's been lovely. Thanks for coming to hang out. It's been nice having someone active in the chat. Nobody else has been.
Bye. Good night.